All right, here we go. All right, guys,
That's
welcome
creative.
back to the. Damn it, Mal.
My bad. Are we recording?
Yes. I like to sneak it in there and not let my people know when I start recording. That way I capture farts, you know. Guys, welcome back to The Struggle with Candice Thompson. I am Candice Thompson. To my new listeners, The Struggle was formerly a podcast where I have my friends come on and we talk about things we're struggling with. But in light of the pandemic, race wars, the world being on fire, we just like to keep it light and talk about fun things. Sometimes we go a little bit deeper, but that's not intentional. The intention is to keep it light so we can bring some joy. Loyal listeners and viewers, thank you for coming back. Not sure why you do, but thank you for doing that. If you have not subscribed, make sure you do that. We're on all podcast platforms. Subscribe. I'm now posting videos on my personal YouTube, so subscribe there. Rate and review us on iTunes. And if you haven't told someone about the podcast, make sure you do that. Pay it forward. I'm Jokes by Candice on social media. Now I'm going to introduce my co-host, Mal Hall.
Hey, everybody. I have a website. It's irrelevant. I'm on social media at Mal Hall and Mal Hall TV on YouTube. I'm still in the car. Different location today, different device today. But the audio sounds good, so we're good. Candice, who is our guest?
Our guest, I'm so happy to have him today. This guy is one of my favorite people. He runs one of my favorite shows to do in Hollywood, comedy shows, and I do miss it, and I hope it's going to come back soon once all this COVID stuff clears up. Give it up for Dave Helem, the very funny Dave Helem.
Hey, Mel. Hey, Candice. How's everybody doing?
Tell everybody where they can find you, Dave.
It's just at my name, at Dave Helem. That's Dave, Helem. Please follow me. I feel like I've had the same amount of Twitter followers for the last 7 years. So just let me know that you care about me. And I used to say like, oh, I'll follow you back, but I realized you can't do that with everybody. So I may follow you back, but just follow me.
One of my favorite things to do is to follow someone back that I don't want to follow. Like when they put you in an awkward position, when they're like watching you, they're like standing over your shoulder, like making sure that you follow them. And then you just set an alarm for like 2 weeks later and then to unfollow them so that you let them think that you're
hilarious.
Wow.
This social media.
If they're that dedicated to like you following them, they're probably pretty on top of how many followers they have exactly. So they're gonna know.
That is correct.
This stuff is all so wonky. Like I've been trying to I think the saddest thing is that they have this thing on Instagram. I'm not verified yet, right? I just want that blue check. And they have this thing where like you can email them or message them and basically like plead your case why you should be verified.
Hilarious.
You write like this long ass email message, and then they just like your message did not qualify for our stand. I'm like, bitch, why did you make me think that I can be verified?
Which part of my verification email should I beef up? Could you let me know? Is this like when you apply to college and they're like, your letter wasn't that good. You just need to beef up this
so
part, right?
humiliating.
Tell me what I need to fix and then I'll resend it. But don't you just have to have I didn't know about that part, but I think it's just managers, like your manager should be able to get you verified on Instagram. At least that's how it works for me. He's laughing. He's like, my manager's trash.
Maybe I need a new manager because my manager said, why is that important? And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna fight you, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's not a question a manager should ask.
Why is that important to you?
My friend's manager's assistant asked me like 2 years ago. She was like, do you want to be verified on Instagram? And I was like, I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
And then like 2 weeks later, I had the blue check mark. So I have no idea how.
Yeah, it's a manager thing. Yeah. They should be able to reach out. The same thing with Facebook verification. They should have like a portal for managers to get access to that. But Twitter was the most difficult one. Twitter gave me the hardest time. Like they were approving anybody that just had a blog, right? Like a social justice warrior that had a blog, but they were not approving people with like actual television credits or anything like that. It's so ridiculous.
Okay, I'm about to draft the email today to my manager. And I'm saying, hey, if you want to keep me as a client,
Yeah.
You will not respond with why it's important.
Yeah.
And you will email Instagram and Twitter and say, give me that check.
What if they call your bluff?
Needs a blue check mark. Stat.
What if they just write back, nah.
It's fine.
It's still not worth it. Take care, Dave.
You know what? I don't want to make this whole podcast about shit to my manager, so let's just not even address that. We're here with Dave Helem, and the name of this episode is Fuck My Manager. And
the Fuck My episode. Fuck My Manager episode of the podcast. Mal, so you're only here for like the first half hour of this. I mean, fortunately for our listeners, you're only here for the first half hour. You have to go get houses, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm with my fiance and we are house shopping and we have a few viewings today. So I'm parked literally down the street from the first one so I could finish so I can join you for this half hour of delight and then go check out a place I might possibly be living for the next, 3 to 5 years.
That's very exciting. Well, I know there's a viewing that I'm sure people that are watching are gonna want to see, and that's Carlene. People are curious.
There she is. She's reading Michelle Obama's book. and
very progressive of you. Very progressive of you, Carlene.
That is love right there.
She's hearing 1/3 of this podcast episode right now. Only what I'm saying, because I got the earpods.
Of course. Now I'm happy you're gonna become an adult finally. You're gonna get a house. Dave,
it is stressful.
It is stressful. Dave, you're from Chicago.
I am.
Now that you're in LA, we were talking before we started recording, you like LA, and it was, I think, as far as we got was the weather, you were like, you're digging the weather, of course, which is no shit, like that's why everyone loves LA. But like, if you had to plant roots, would it be on the West Coast now, or would you go back to Chicago?
Well, yesterday was my 4-year anniversary. I moved out here 4 years ago. MLK's real birthday. January 15th.
Oh yeah.
Not that Monday shit. Okay.
No.
But I'm torn because as much as I love Chicago, California has provided me opportunities that I just wouldn't be able to have in Chicago. Like point. Period. It's just certain things that industry-wise just don't exist in Chicago. But I would like them to exist in Chicago. So I would like to have like a dual type situation of where I'm at. But
same.
Not even a dual, but just like a place that I can go back to that's managed by somebody, like an Airbnb the rest of the time so I can make some money. But I don't need to be in Chicago at the same time. There are things in Chicago that I've grown out of. And when I go back, I'm like, I'm just not the same person that I was 5 years ago, and not in a bad way.
Right.
Well, you shouldn't be. But so, are you saying you don't like deep dish pizza anymore?
Oh no, I love that shit. Okay, don't you ever disrespect me like that ever again. I love that shit. I'm saying that, like, I'll go back and see my boys. They be like, "Yo, we're gonna go to the liquor store and we're gonna buy a fifth, and we're just gonna drink it down Lakeshore Drive, and before we go to like this place." And I'm just like, that was like 10 years ago. I got some money now. We can just buy drinks where we're going. Like, I don't need to get a DUI. Like, they be like, "Oh man, you old Hollywood ass nigga." Like,
you have changed.
There is a certain point where pre-partying is just like something you used to do.
Right.
Like we don't need to catch a buzz before we go to the place so we don't spend money there anymore. Right. Like, and that's a nice place to be in your life, Dave. That's a nice place.
Because pre-partying was everything in my late 20s and early 30s. It was like, man, we ain't got no bread. Let's go get fucked up before we go.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that like makes sense when you live also like in more expensive cities. Like for example, a drink in LA is like $17, $18, right?
Yeah.
in Chicago, expensive. New York, super expensive. But like when I went to, where was I? I was doing some comedy festival. Oh, I was in Denver. Man, can I tell you that I went to the bar? I like ordered 2 drinks, and I think it was like a vodka soda or some shit like that. 2 drinks. The total was like $6 for both the drinks. I thought the bartender made a mistake. I grabbed my drinks and ran when I saw that. I was like, I don't want him to realize he fucked up and like charge me more. I was like, then I found out that's what they charge, and I was like, I'm Denver.
I did that festival called Big Sky in
yes, I've
Montana.
done that one too. Yeah.
Right, which is a great festival. So they brought me back like a year later to do an independent show, and they're like taking me out, showing me the town, making me feel special because I'm there. We go to brunch, and this is how cheap Montana is. They were like, "Would you like bottomless Bloody Marys?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, let's go!" And then they're like, "They're $5." Like for the day. It's just like, what? $5 for bottomless? Like,
you're like, I'll take 5.
Do you all not understand how math works? Like this you're not going to make money.
Yeah, I don't know if you know where my bottom is, but I got a big tank.
It's going to cost you more than $5 to give me this alcohol. You do realize that, right?
I've definitely made we went to brunch one time at this French place, and they had bottomless mimosas, and we showed up at 10 and we left at like 3 o'clock, and I was just like, keep them coming. And I believe I was the only one that ordered it, and I asked for more glasses, and they brought more glasses, and I was just giving them to my friends, so we bought one for $15 and stayed there until 3 to the point. This was a fun day. The owner of the place came to the table with a glass, and they're like, "You guys are just hanging out, huh?" And I was like, "Well, they have this great bottomless mimosa deal going." And I was like, "The ambiance is great. We're having a great time." And the person was like, "Hi, I own this place. Nice to meet you." And I was like, "This is a great thing that you got going on."
but you only bought one bottomless mimosa, and you all just shared it with each other.
We did 6 or 7 bottles. Just keep them coming.
I mean,
they must have liked you as a person.
Yeah.
Where did you say this was, Mel?
It was down here in San Diego somewhere.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, normally in California, I don't know about the rest of California, but like, of course, like LA, they're stingy as fuck. Like you'll pay $18 for a drink and they'll still put like 7 ice cubes in it.
Yeah.
This much liquor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stingy as fuck. But if you need to pregame in like Tulsa, get your life together.
You're an alcoholic.
Yeah, and the drinks are so cheap. You need to, there's no reason why you need to get drunk before if your whole tab is going to come to $32.
Bring your $10 bill and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Enjoy the ride.
And that's for everybody. That covers everybody.
Tulsa's the kind of place where you go there from California and you get to ball out. Like you get to feel like a baller when you go. Like I've bought rounds for the whole bar, like just whatever everyone's drinking here, I got it. Like,
that makes you feel good. I don't care where you're at, man.
It feels great.
Like put it on my tab.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that feels good.
Dave, you started comedy in Chicago, correct?
Mm-hmm. I did.
The only place I've ever done in Chicago is I did the Schaumburg Improv.
Okay.
The only place I did. Bobby Lee took me out with them. I don't even remember what year that was, but anyway, it was super fun. But the comedy scene, I know there's more places to go up in LA, but as far as like the audiences and the reactions, what do you prefer? Is it Chicago or LA?
Oh, hands down, people with souls. And that is in Chicago. People who give a fuck, people who are not offended by the first word. Oh my God, did you just say that? Right. I didn't give you the premise yet. Okay, right. Like you don't like my whatever. So Chicago is definitely where I feel like you can become really strong because you can kind of, the people just, they're happy to be there in some ways. So, you know, you kind of learn just to get in your groove and how to be likable and all the things that are important as a comic. And LA, I'm not shitting on it like that. You know, it is.
No, you can. Feel free to shit on. I mean, I understand.
It's just different, man. You know, like coming from Chicago where you are, you worked your way up and like, you know, you're a quote unquote, not killer, but like, you know, you can get busy, you know, like you know, you can rock. And then, but everybody comes from their own city and thinks they're that person. So then you just get humbled when you come here. And it's like, you come to the Comedy Store and you see 9,000 comics on a Monday waiting to put their name on a list to possibly do 3 minutes, you know, and pop luck. You know, that shit humbles the fuck out of you.
Yes, it does.
I think the Chicago has great comedy audiences because it's like a hub of the Midwest. And so you have, you know, it's kind of like LA in a way where people are moving there from all the surrounding states. That's like the big place to go. But they're a smart audience that likes to go out and have fun. So you get a pretty honest feedback when you're there of like how your bits are without that jaded energy that LA has, you know, like the crowds in LA are like, I'm waiting for someone famous and I don't know you, so you better work really hard to make me funny. Where in Chicago, they're like, this is Saturday and we're having a good time and I hope you're good because we want to have fun. It's like kind of.
I totally agree. I felt like if you went to like a comedy club in LA and they were just funny people who were there, but they had no names attached to them, people would be upset. Like, okay, I didn't pay money to be entertained. Okay, I wanted to see my icons.
Yeah, and I feel like that's certain places. I wouldn't say that's every spot. There are definitely, you know, and that's where the whole alt scene came from, is because they were people who couldn't get past in clubs. So they were like, why do I have to get past at a comedy club to do stand-up? So they started doing bookstores and how, like, Dave, you do your show in a bar. So like, your crowd is not like that at all. Dave runs a really dope show, and that's the name of it, is a dope ass comedy.
Ass comedy show.
Yeah, and what's so funny is it's at a bar where that was like the first bar I'd ever been to in LA. Like, that bar has been around.
Really?
I don't know if the name was the same. I don't know if it's changed like ownership or management, but when I first came out, I wasn't even living here yet. Like, I moved out, I came out here just to like visit and get the scope of the land to see like what area might be decent to live in. And my friend and I just stumbled across this bar and we were like, let's just go in here. And I remember it specifically because I remember it being narrow as fuck. Like, I remember being like, there's like the booths over here, there's a small little aisle to walk, and then the bar is like right here. And
you stumbled in there though?
Yeah, we walked in there.
You went to a liquor store first and you were stumbling down that street and ended up in that bar?
She pre-gamed.
I don't think we pre-gamed, but I mean, if we did pre-game, it was at another bar. We were
that place is
so young,
That's called the Bronson Bar on Sunset and Bronson in Hollywood. And I tell you what, man, I had a birthday party. Let me rewind for a second. Tone Bell took me to something called like Baked Beats, where this guy plays amazing music, and I love the vibe on Saturday nights. So I said, man, I want to have my birthday party here. So I had my birthday party, and my friends just came and kicked it, and I got really drunk. And I saw me and the manager are talking. I was like, man, do you have comedy here? He was like, nope. I was like, can I do it? He was like, yep. And that's how it came about. And then I fell asleep in the booth right after that.
Hilarious. So there was a thing called Baked Beats?
Baked Beats, yeah.
And it was just music?
Yeah, the guy would come play like a lot of soul music, a lot of like 70s, 80s, like
nice, yeah.
Yeah, you know, so, and I love music. I'm a huge music. Like, my girl for Christmas got me a controller. So I have been living my best quarantine life, trying to learn how to be the DJ that you didn't know I was.
Making 8 beats a day for 4 summers.
Like Cree Summers. That's right. That's a different world.
Yeah.
I love old Kanye lyrics. Boy.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's so cool.
I love music, man.
The last time speaking of music, I think it was the last, I don't know if it was the last time I did your show, Dave, but one of the times I did your shows, Anderson .Paak was there.
That was crazy, wasn't it? Like that, that is a great. I have a picture that's framed in my house of me and Anderson .Paak outside the Bronx Bar. But I'm walking, I'm just chilling, getting off work, a little stressed out, and you know, I see just like these big ass teeth. I'm just like, yo, that looks like
Anderson .Paak.
Is that? And then I start, and I'm like, it is him, but I don't want to be weird, you know. So he stays for the show because his homeboy is this rapper named Dumbfounded, who I didn't know, who also does comedy, right? Mm-hmm. Who did like who went up. So that night was just real cool. And then I talked to him outside, and he was like, "Hey man, you got some weed?" And I was like, "No, I don't, man, but I'm a big fan of your music." But the cool thing about that show, just like that with him, you never know who was going to drop in. It was one night Bill Burr came through, which is like not a huge deal in LA, but to be at a dive bar randomly, and then your friend who brings in Bill Burr was like, "Hey, can Bill do some time?" He's like, "Yeah, Bill can do some time." So it's like, you know, from Hannibal Buress to Dion, to Bill, to like you never know who's just going to drop in as a
Bill Cosby
special guest.
No,
no, Deion Sanders. Prime time.
Dion Cole. I'm sorry.
Hannibal Lecter.
And I'm not even like, I'm not name dropping. I'm just saying
of course.
The room was just one of them type of rooms where it's like you just didn't know who's gonna come through. You might see Deion Sanders. You know what I'm saying? Doing a Subway commercial.
You don't know. One time I performed in front of Cuba Gooding Jr. one time. That was fun. This was pre all of the abuse allegations.
Let me get your feedback though, Candice, because Hannibal was like, "Yo," he's like, "I like your room, but I hate the fact that you have these TVs on during my set, and I feel like it's distracting. Like, because like we show old movies with the sound off. Yeah, the sound's off. You know, so like some people, I like that vibe of just rocking out with a, you know, with an old black ass movie behind you. Yeah, with the sound off, as you do a set. I do too, but like Mal, the televisions are up so high that it's like no one's paying attention to them. It's just like it's there for the ambiance and like the vibe of it. But like extra lighting, in my opinion, you know?
Yeah. That maybe he had a bad set and was trying to blame it on something. I was there one of the nights that he was there. I think I was there a couple of nights that he may have popped in. I don't remember. He just be popping in all the time everywhere. But I don't remember. I don't remember him having a bad set. Maybe it really did distract him. Maybe he has. You know what's funny is because everyone is so different. Like it could have been a distraction to him. Like I have a friend who, when he's watching a movie, like inside, he doesn't like having other light. It has to be pitch black. Because if a lamp or a light is on, he's like, I get distracted. Like I'm gonna, for some reason, I go to the light. And so I'm like, maybe
he's a fly. I get it.
Yeah.
He's a moth, maybe.
He's half black, half mosquito.
You know what? I said the wrong insect. You're right. I meant to say moth. I said fly. My bad.
We knew what you meant. You know what? Speaking of mosquitoes, really quick sidebar. Because we were talking about you having black movies playing in the background, so I want to talk about the new Coming to America. My parents they live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and they got one of those bug zappers because in the Midwest, like it just gets, in the humidity, it gets the mosquitoes and the bugs just get offensive. And so they put that up, and we were sitting outside one day on the deck, and I didn't know that you'd be able to like hear all of them die. Like I had never been around a bug zapper before. So I mean, in LA, mosquitoes are not really a thing, at least not in my area.
Right.
You know, it's so dry. Right. But to hear, like, it got sad for me. I got to the point where I was like, can we turn it off? I think we've killed enough. Like I felt bad. I was like, I'm not able to enjoy my meal now because every 5 seconds.
Yeah, to be fair, Candice's dad hooked it up to the main power line, So every time a moth or something got killed, all the lights in the house flickered, like Green Mile.
It made it extra creepy.
And that is fucking hilarious.
And then a deer walked up and was like, like, Dad, that's not supposed to be killing wildlife.
You had a damn concentration camp for bugs.
I just had never experienced one like that before. Like I'd experienced like citronella candles to keep the bugs away, but like an actual zapper. And then what's even worse is you can tell when it's a bigger bug. Because you can, and you're like, oh no, I think that's a butterfly. Oh man.
It sounds like Operation, like the game Operation when you fucked up.
Absolutely does. Maybe that's also why it's a little bit triggering for me, because then I don't like to lose and I don't like to not be perfect. So like when I
And what's really gross is the next morning when you walk past it and you get to see the
carnage.
The bugs that had an unfortunate evening.
They're so stupid. You just saw your friend fly into it. Why you gotta do the same thing? Why you so stupid? Sorry, I'm so sorry. Okay, back.
Stop bug shaming.
I am bug shaming. They so stupid though.
Dumbass bugs.
They are stupid.
Little ass brains.
They don't get me started on the crickets that be coming in my apartment. I'd be like, now you know. You shouldn't be in here. All right. So
Candice, tell another joke so I can sound off on it, please.
Right. They start rubbing.
That's what I'm here for. Yeah.
I'm here for your bombs, Candice.
Yeah. So what do you think of this movie?
I was excited. Well, I was excited to hear that it's coming because I just love Coming to America. So it's just to me like really nostalgic when I think a lot of, especially, you know, Black people, that was just like that. It's to this day, it's my favorite movie. It's my favorite comedy of all time. And I believe that will remain my favorite comedy of all time for the rest of my life. Like
of all time.
Quote it every time. It could come on every week and I would watch it every week. And it'd be like the first time watching it. That's how much I love this movie and how brilliant I think it is. And when I saw like that I was excited just the thought of it, like, oh, yay, Coming to America. And it's the same cast. And I was like, yay. But then it started sinking in like, oh yeah, they be ruining anything they reboot anytime. So then I started getting disappointed again. Like, yeah, I know I'm excited just to see Coming America like again, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to be good just because they always fuck up reboots. But then I saw the trailer. And to me, the trailer didn't look bad. The trailer to me was like, oh, maybe they got it right because of who was involved. Eddie Murphy's brilliant. So I was like, maybe they actually are making a really good reboot. But then I also started thinking, the cynic in me is like, maybe they saved all the good parts for the trailer. So I'm gonna go see it, of course, and I'm very excited. But you know, I'm trying to make
go see it. It's gonna be on Amazon Prime.
I mean, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I'm gonna go to my living room to watch it.
It's gonna be on Amazon Prime and in theaters in Florida.
Correct.
That is it.
It's like Florida never closed.
Yeah.
You see those commercials like in theaters. I'm like, where? We don't have movie theaters at all.
They should just say theater.
Yeah.
One theater.
Yeah. They just had a template from all the other previews and they forgot to delete that part.
Right.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it though, man. I think that I trust Eddie. I trust Eddie more so than anything. Like Dolomite was really funny to me. You know, you know, and Eddie just has that comedic timing. And I hope the original writers were involved, Eddie and the Jewish guys who wrote it.
Right.
I hope that, and I trust that he has I don't know, like he knows funny. So I think Eddie is going to make it work. The only thing that saddens me is that age is real, time is real. So they look really old. They look really cool. Like James Earl Jones, like on his last leg as the king. I'm just like, man, y'all better get all.
Yeah, I was hoping he was gonna make it to the reboot. I was like, is he still alive? But yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's here.
He's here.
John Amos, the guy who played Mr. McDowell, Like they're not young.
No, they weren't young the first time.
Yeah.
John Amos.
They were playing the dad.
Yeah, he was in his 40s in the 80s.
Yeah, man. But I'm just happy they're around still, you know. And even if it's not as good as the first one, we ain't got shit else to do.
No, I know.
It's a nostalgia move, you know.
For sure.
So it's nice to see movie stars and comedians that we love and recognize like doing their thing again.
For sure. I'm happy for it, and I'm gonna of course check it out. Mal, do you have to go?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take off. It was nice to meet you, Dave.
You too, brother.
When society's open again, I'll have to come up and do your show, and you can come down and do my show in San Diego. Candice, great to see you. Hair looks great. Have a great Saturday.
Bye,
and
guys.
I'll see you. Have a great rest of the episode. Goodbye, Carlene.
Bye, Carlene. Have fun and good luck. Good luck.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Okay, now we can talk shit about Mal. So
oh shit.
Oh yeah, what I came for. Were you about to say something?
No, well, yeah, I was about to say that it looks a little bit sunnier where he's at in San Diego. Like it looks like it's just a little less smog in there.
It's always sunnier in San Diego. It's always a little bit more pleasant. You know, like you were saying when you were talking about the comedy shows in LA, it's like you said the people in Chicago have souls, and that is correct. Mm-hmm. They do. There's an energy in LA, and I talk about this all the time, and it's like, and it didn't take me long to figure it out. Like I came out to LA, you know, with hopes and dreams. I still have hopes and dreams, right? I still do that. I'm not that jaded, but it didn't take me very long to realize like, oh, people are different out here. Like there's a fakeness, a shallowness, a thirstiness, a desperation, and a sadness. Like there's just like you can tell there's people that have been broken out here, and it's true because people come out here looking for, you know, their dreams. They come out here and they realize it's not easy, and a lot of the times that people that do come out here looking for dreams are people who, you know, if you're seeking validation from complete strangers and you want fame, like there's a reason for that. It's because you had something, you know, you had some type of neglect or something in your childhood. Like you're searching for, if you want to be famous, like there's a hole in you that needs to be filled by something. And so that's what this is in LA. So San Diego, it doesn't have that. Like San Diego is like regular people. They're just like regular people. It's like if you were to have Chicago people in California, but just, you know, they're like, I'm here for the weather. They're just regular for regular jobs.
I hear that about Oakland too. I've never been to Oakland, but I hear like the Bay Area people are like real chill. Like it's a different vibe. And there are certain clubs out here, and like I won't say what clubs don't have that feel, but I will say for me that there's one comedy club in LA that no matter whenever I perform there, I feel like the people are just there to have a good time, and that is the West Side Comedy Theater in Santa Monica.
Interesting.
I really think that like that is one place I really enjoy performing at because it's very small, very intimate, and even though it's still predominantly white.
Yeah,
I still very, very white.
Yeah, of course.
I just feel like people are very open-minded. They're there to laugh, and it's not that weirdness of like entertain me.
Yeah, no, I agree with they're not there for that. But West Side, and I do love West Side. I love Chris Gorbos, one of the managers over there. He's great, very funny. But I will say with the crowds, anytime there's an industry showcase there, you know, performing in front of industry is always trash.
I hate that shit. Yeah.
They are not here to laugh at anybody. They're just here to make you sweat. And but the crowds there, I think a lot of times because they're younger crowds, they're like college students and just fresh out of college, they gravitate to that place as well. And you know,
really?
They do.
Okay.
I've noticed it is a mix, but I've noticed on a lot of occasions it's the younger crowd, and you know, those are people that are like the more PC, the more like you can't. what did she just say? She just said fat, but she's not fat. She's not allowed to say fat. You know, that kind of thing. So it is a little bit, for me, I felt that there is a little bit of that going on there, but I have had some really great sets there. And I do love the ambiance and the energy of that club for sure.
I should have said more specifically, I enjoy the Friday night show there.
There we go.
Unnecessary Evil.
Unnecessary Evil.
Like that is one of my favorite shows.
My manager runs that.
Nat?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, oh, we love Nat.
Nat's great.
But it's now that show to me is when you say like younger crowd, I was like, I see a lot of old people there. But
different show, yeah.
That's a different show, man. That shit makes me feel like I'm back home when I do that show.
Unnecessary.
I miss stand up.
It's coming back. Like we just need to. This is gonna go away. I feel like it's gonna over the next, and also people. I think people were just so terrified with like the cases and whatever going up in the winter time. But I'm like, this is what it does in the winter time. Once the heat comes, which it already is back, you know, in LA, it's like 85 degrees right now. So it's like once the seasons change, the number's gonna drop again, and like I feel like life's gonna come back. Vaccinations,
things of that nature.
Right.
You know. I just miss it. I miss the people. I miss my friends who are mostly comedians out here in LA more than anything.
Right.
Because a lot of times when you're out, like, I mean, it's different for you because when I would see you at the Comedy Store, like you work there, so like you'll be doing the set. But for us, we're done. I'm not passed, so I'll just be going up there on a Tuesday night to hang because if I'm lucky enough to get taken to the back bar by one of my friends who is past there. You never know what you're going to see in that back bar, man. Like it's just like or who you're going to see in that back. Yeah,
it's true. Yeah.
So it's just I miss those interactions.
Yeah, and that's
miss punky bartender. You know, like shit like that.
Punky did bartend, and let me tell you, the heaviest hand in the West. That bitch.
Hey.
Anytime that's why I can't take drinks from her anyway. I mean, I don't drink much anyway, and that's why my tolerance is very low. So when I would take a drink from Punky,
I've never seen you drink, I don't think.
Yeah, no, and I used to drink more than I drink. I think I've had maybe 5 drinks this year. Or I mean last year. But yeah, I don't really drink too much anymore. But I do smoke weed and I'll do like edibles and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. But Punky, she was straight up. She won't even be looking at your glass. She'll just be like, she'll start a conversation with somebody else while she's pouring your drink. Hey man, could you grab me that? And I'm like, Punky, the whole thing is like overflowing on the side. There's no room for even a mixer to go in there now. You just have a full glass of vodka. And you're like, I can't drink this, Punky. And she's like,
and she was so good at bartending that she ended up on Saturday Night Live. Look how dreams come true.
Look at God. Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
Won't he, she, they, won't they, won't, whatever. Won't God do it?
Yep.
That's like my Muslim days coming out because I was Muslim for like 2 years.
What happened? Why you give it
up? Well, why did I get into it is a better question.
You couldn't keep up with the not eating bacon?
No, it wasn't even that. It was just kind of like I got kind of down in Atlanta with like this black like Muslim, not cult, but they were just like hardcore.
Yeah.
And they were like, man, you gotta find you a wife, brother. What's your name, Dave? No, your name is Daoud now. I'm like, yeah, I am Daoud, right? So I went through this whole thing.
Like hardcore.
I got married. Like I had a Muslim wife and we were both coming from like Christian faith, and we went to Morehouse and Spelman. So we at homecoming, people showed up.
Oh my God.
And we just had on kufis and I had a beard. They was like, nigga, what's like, talk to me, right? Like blink if you're okay, right?
I didn't know this about you at all.
No.
This is amazing.
Few people know this. So yeah, I had a Muslim wedding, and I just realized that this ain't really for me. So I left in 2009. Me and the lady got divorced. I moved back to Chicago, started doing stand up.
Yeah.
I had never did stand up in Atlanta in my life.
Interesting.
So I moved back, came back, and I was like, you know what? Let me tell some jokes.
Was it because of that whole Muslim experience that made you like? So usually people have something that's like, you know what? I'm gonna try stand up. Like they go through something, and then like I need an outlet or something to like talk about my experiences. Was that what that was for you, or was that just a coincidence that you just started stand up?
I mean, I was very down in my life at that point. going through a divorce, because even though it was a Muslim marriage and I probably shouldn't have been married, it's still a failure in some ways. So
yeah, I can see that.
Right. So I always wanted to be a writer. I always had like these sketches that I thought would be really funny. And I had a girl who I was dating back in the day who got me like a notebook and was like, write all this stuff down. You can be a writer, blah, blah, blah. So before I wanted to be a stand-up, I thought that I wanted to be a writer. Thank you, back. I thought I wanted to be a writer before anything.
Me too.
And I think stand-up came in because I just saw friends doing it. And I was like, oh, I can do that. And then I did it, and it was like a rush. It was the first time I ever did stand-up. It was a show run by two guys, Clark Jones and Will Miles.
I know both those dudes, and they've both done this show as well. So yeah.
It was called Two Black Guys and an Open Mic. And it was in like the whitest, gayest area of Chicago, which you would never think that two black dudes would run a mic.
Hilarious.
And it's called Boys Town. That was the area in Chicago. And
every city has a Boys Town.
I did my set and I sat down, which I still do. I still do sit down a lot when I tell, because I just feel
you do be sitting.
And they were like, "Yo, don't ever do that again. Like, how dare you? How dare you get on the mic for the first time and you sit down?" I'm like, man, I'm so nervous right now. Let me do whatever I can do just so I don't
through. Right.
But it was fun.
That's fantastic. So you got into it just because you watched some stand up. See, I didn't know anyone. I grew up, in New York, but then Cincinnati most of my life. And I knew that I was always funny, but I just never knew to pursue it. I went to college and just didn't think. I was like, oh, I'll just do what everyone else is doing and just go to college, get a job, and live a regular life. And I'll just be that funny chick that works in a hospital, right? Like, I just thought that's what I do. And then I, like 6 months before graduation, I was like, I'm too goofy. I'm way too goofy to work in a hospital. Because I was a science major. I was a dietetics major, and I was going to have to do like an unpaid internship in a hospital before I could, start practicing as a dietitian. And I was like, I'm too goofy. Like, I'm going to be that chick that's making fun of people that are having procedures to amputate stuff. So I was like, I'm going to be always inappropriate and insubordinate. And I was like, well, I've always been funny. So let's trust what God gave me and move across the country and try to get a job writing for television.
Man.
Yeah.
I think every artist in our profession experiences some level of that, where you are doing something else because, you haven't committed fully to doing this yet, right? Yep. So like for me, I was a teacher for a long time, right? And I'm just miserable. What did
you teach?
I have a math degree, so.
You're good at math?
Yeah, but I didn't realize that you can't do shit with a math degree. So
besides teach math.
It's not very specific. It's like I know math, right? So I didn't know what to do. I was going to be an engineer, but I was like, man, this is a whole lot of work. So
that's a lot of work.
I became a math teacher, and I really enjoyed the kids, like trying to teach them about life. But the math part, I'm not saying that you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I just found that I had stronger bonds. Like I would have been a better counselor than a math teacher,
life experience, which I feel like, Dave, honestly, like that's what we're lacking. Even when we were like growing up in school, like they weren't giving us the life skills to there's so many things that we could have benefited from. Like, why is there no finances? Like, why is there no class talking about like how to manage your finances? They don't tell you anything.
We need a financial lit class.
Yeah.
More than, or just as much as algebra. Because
sure.
I would
say more than. I've never used algebra in my whole entire life. I took it to get the grade in school, and then I've completely forgotten everything.
All that stuff does is teach you critical thinking skills, right?
For sure,
and you can do that. You can do that stuff in so many other ways. Honestly.
For sure.
And so that is one of my things that I would like to do down the road, is that I would like to be able to start a school where, in addition to the things that you learn, in terms of your core basics, you learn how to you learn how to do whatever your passion is, right? So if you want to be like a writer, stand up, we focus on getting you that shit. but I just want to be more like a trade school.
Yeah.
But like a trade school that'll really help you get somewhere in life, as opposed to like a bougie trade school. Like, that sounds kind of. Does it make sense? Like, yeah, I don't want you to be a carpenter,
right?
But you can be a screenwriter, or you can be whatever your bougie trade is that you want to do.
Yeah.
You want to be a chef? We got you, my nigga. Like, let's go.
Is there a truck backing up by you?
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
Hilarious.
It's like mad construction out here in Inglewood, man.
There's mad construction. Every day I wake up to some type of jackhammering, some type of lawn mower, some type of leaf blower. There's hammering. I'm like, there's ambulances and fire trucks. I'm like, can we helicopters now? I'm like, what is happening? Because I feel like the chaos does not match. The ratio of chaos to sirens makes no sense. Like, I don't hear about any crime going on, yet there's sirens happening all the time. I'm like, what is happening? Am I missing something? But anyway, you know what I want to implement if you start the school is, because one part that I think everyone in the whole entire world could benefit from. So, and we need to start teaching our children is meditation. Meditation is so life-changing, and how, like you were saying, like whatever it is that you're passionate about, like you should follow that like that. And that's really all meditation teaches you, that like you have the power to do whatever you want to do within you. Like, we just need to teach our kids, like, you can legit you can manifest your destiny. You can trust yourself, and whatever it is, if you're good at it, don't be meditating about like, oh, I'm going to be an Olympic track star. And it's like, you have no fast twitch muscle fibers, right? Like that would be me being very delusional at that point. Like, thinking I could be an Olympic track star. That's preposterous. But like, as far as realistic dreams, you can legit achieve. It's all mind. Like, it's all a mentality. If you keep telling yourself, I'm not good at this, I can't do that, you won't. That you will not. But you tell yourself you can, focus on it. Our thoughts literally become our reality. So like, just focus on that. And I think kids need to be taught that. There's so many things our kids are not taught that would empower
I remember showing them this documentary called Hidden Colors.
Mm-hmm.
It was like this documentary about like stuff that Black folks don't know about Black folks.
Yeah.
And they were like, Mr. Helem, no other teacher has ever done that to me. And I'm so glad you showed us that. Now, that was a good takeaway. The bad takeaway is they went up to their white teachers and were like, you evil bitch. And I was just like, I didn't tell you to tell the white teachers that they were evil. I never said that. I never said tell the white teachers that they were not nice. I just said, you're Black and you're amazing. I didn't say kill white people. I never said
I didn't say kill white.
The principal brought me in like, Mr. Helem, we heard that you're having like terrorists, like Black Lives Matter rallies.
You're organizing a Young Black Panthers organization.
I just want to boost their self-esteem. They take it to a whole nother level. That's Quantavious. That's not me.
That's amazing. So what's funny is, so I didn't even know that you worked with kids before, but then I did want to talk to you because you ended up working and writing on a kids television show.
Yeah, man.
And I wanted to talk to you about what that experience is like, because I've never actually written for, because I think that'd be very challenging. It was Raven's home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's
it's funny.
Nickelodeon? Is it Nickelodeon?
Disney.
There we go. There's a script right there.
The reason
Tell me about that experience.
The reason I have the script out is because I'm working on I'm writing an episode right now that's due by Wednesday, I think, of next week, and I think it's our last episode of the show. So
wow, like the series finale?
Possibly.
Okay.
And as it stands, probably, like, unless they order more episodes, which is kind of hard during COVID. I'm writing the last one. But it's very. Let me answer your question and backtrack for a second. I think it's comics. we are very used to being the center of attention.
Yes.
Right? And when you are in a writer's room or when you're a writer, it's very difficult at times because people don't care about that. You know, they don't care that you're a comedian. They're all writers and they're there to produce a script. So you are there you kind of have to like humble yourself because you're not the star anymore. You're not the mutant, the X-Man, you know, the Avenger that you were when you were on stage. You're just like the writer. And then when you're working on the children's show, it's even crazier because your sense of humor as a comedian may not be the best for a child show.
Oh, I know.
So there are things that
I would get fired the first week.
You have to train yourself and to take your sense of humor. No, you would not get fired. You would adjust. You have to. You just get sick of being told no by the showrunner. Like, no, Dave, that's funny.
And I'm like, so we can't do this rape joke. I'm gonna wait till season 6. Is that, or episode 6? Is that fine? Is that that's still too soon? Okay.
I kept pitching the episode where we went to Cook County Prison and taught R. Kelly how to read. Hilarious. Right, and
I keep forgetting he doesn't know how to read. He's on that list. Yeah. But
it wasn't gonna be with R. Kelly, but I was like, change his name to be like be smelly or something like that. But like in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna get this joke out here, and they're like, it's never gonna happen.
They're like, Dave,
it's like shut the fuck up, right? So you have these ideas that you think are so grandiose and hilarious, but you know, they get shot down a lot by the powers that be. Not because they're not funny. You just realize that funny does not necessarily matter the most. No. And with stand-up, we think that being funny is all that matters. And you just kind of learn to play the game more and play your role and know that you're not going to be like the MVP of the script. You might make an assist, you might hit a jump shot, but it's a whole synergistic machine that you are a part of that you need to realize that. So
for sure.
I think the hardest part about being in a writer's room is that there's a hierarchy that starts with the executive producers. And a lot of times as comics, we come in as staff writers, which is like the lowest of the low. It's not the lowest of the low, but it's like pretty low on the totem pole. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we have these egos. So you have to really let the ego die. And like my showrunner now is a stand-up or former stand-up. This guy named Warren Hutcherson, who is
I know who amazing. Warren Hutcherson is. Yeah.
Amazing. From Moesha, Living Single, Bernie Mac Show, Everyone Hates Chris. Yep. But you know, it's funny that you can go watch his set on Def Jam. Yep. Talking about his Muslim daddy and how he couldn't have Christmas, right? And so me and him can kind of like relate because you know I'll pitch something, he'll be like, Dave, you know goddamn well we can't say that on this show, right? And it's cool having like another black man to talk to,
for sure.
Because on most of these shows, you're not seeing that, bro. Like you are not seeing people who look like you, who sound like you,
right?
And so I actually have enjoyed working on this children's show due to our staff that we've had, you know. And I know that if I had other people around me, I probably wouldn't say that.
Yeah, no, that's
dope. A long ass answer to your question.
Yeah, no, but that's what I wanted. We have like maybe 5 minutes left, so no, that was perfect. But are you the only stand-up comedian that's in the writer's room, or are there other?
Just me.
Just you.
I'm the only stand-up, but people have other talents like Octavia Bray. She's a very amazing writer. I was like, Octavia Spencer? Octavia Bray. She's so smart and great.
Nice. Yeah.
She writes plays and she's a playwright and she can act and all this other stuff. So that they might not be like stand-ups, but people have their own
for sure.
things that they do.
For
you
sure.
know. So I used to have like this mentality, like, oh, I'm a stand-up. I'm elite, and that shit got thrown out the window fast by me. Like, first of all, it's fucked up to think like that. Like I'm better than somebody because I'm a stand-up, because I'm not. You know. And so, but yeah, I'm the only stand-up. Yeah, and they all came to my taping because because I filmed a special during the pandemic at the Rose Bowl.
Oh, that's right. I can see that on your Instagram. That's great. Congrats.
Yeah, man. They came out and supported, and well, the ones who like me, and they came out and supported. And
are there people that really don't like you?
We never talk about that, but just know that.
Yeah, we'll save that for another episode.
Another episode. The struggle is real.
Yeah, no, the thing that I have been so blessed with is like every writer's room experience that I've been in has been immediately like family. Like, and that's a rare thing. Like I've heard horror stories, like, especially for comedians going into like scripted shows where there's no other comedians. It's just strictly writers.
Ooh, boy,
and you have to like constantly, you get disrespected from what I've heard. It has not happened to me. Luckily, wherever I've gone, there've been like a number of comics on every writer staff that I've been on, but so it's not like I was there by myself, but I've heard stories of just been like, they just disrespect. They think that you're not on their level because you are just a stand-up. But it's like,
yes, like you're not as smart as me. Like you might be funny, but you don't know. You're not trained. Right. You're not classically trained like me, you basic bitch.
Correct. So you have to constantly prove yourself.
I saw you on the lot a lot.
Yes.
When you were working on your last show, and I would also see Sean O'Connor.
He was only there for, unfortunately. So we had a head writer that they let go in, I think, the end of January. It was like not long after we had come back from Christmas break, and then he was there for like a couple weeks, and then they let him go, and then they replaced him with Sean, who I love. He had just come from Lily Singh's late night show. He was the head writer over there. And then they brought him in, and he was there for like a month and a half, and then the pandemic hit.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, he wasn't there very long, unfortunately.
I didn't know that. I thought he was there the entire time.
No.
It was great. I would walk to my office and I would see David Spade like on his phone.
Yeah.
But I would never say a word to him. I was like, you know what? You're doing something right now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be that guy.
Yeah, no. But know that Dave Spade is so chill. You could absolutely just say, "Hey, what's up? Nice to meet you. I'm a fellow comic," and he would respond. Like, and he's so down to earth. He's like the nicest boss I've ever worked for, and to be an A-list celebrity like that, and to have that.
Would he be in the room every day with you all?
Yes. Not like all day, every day, but he comes in and he's very interactive, very like hands-on, very like, that's why we know his voice so well. Like now writing on the Netflix show is because now we've been with him for a full year and we know his voice so well because we know what he likes and what he doesn't like. And like, it's just, he's not one of those people that thinks he's better than, so when he comes in a room and he intimidates other people, like from day one, even you felt this vibe of like, he respects you because you were chosen to be here, which is so hard to find.
Congrats on the Netflix show. I didn't even know that was a thing.
He got his show. It's a completely different format, but we found out that the show got Lights Out got canceled back in July, I think, or no, not May, I think maybe. And then they were doing like little digital stuff with him online for Lights Out. And then we found that they were pulling the plug 100%. We were like, fuck. But I had so much faith in the showrunners that I was like, I have a feeling that, and Spade is so great that I was like, this is going to land somewhere else. Someone else will pick it up. The only concern was like, this is a pandemic. Who's buying shit in the pandemic? And so we got the call probably in, I think, August or September that they sold it to Netflix. And it was just a waiting game now. They're trying to figure out the logistics and who we're going to hire back and whatever. And we got together the beginning of November. So it's a completely different format, though. It's like it's him, Fortune Feimster, and another Black British comic, London Hughes. So it's the three of them. They're all, Dave is the host, they're his co-hosts, and it's a Netflix talk show now. So basically, we're a talk show talking about all the shows on Netflix, and we have the guests from all.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's super chill.
They brought the band back together too, which is cool.
They did. They did. Unfortunately, they couldn't bring everybody back just because we're not filming every day now. We're just shooting once a week. So as far as the crew, they couldn't bring everybody back, and then Netflix has their own digital team, so we couldn't bring the Comedy Central digital with us, unfortunately. And I love working with them, but luckily I've heard everyone that was from that crew over there is like got another job and they're thriving. So everyone is, from what I know, from what I've heard, is okay. But yeah, the Netflix after
That's
party.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's great that I just love hearing people getting it done and still working. Like, I didn't even know you were still working on that show. I didn't know if that was still a thing, because everything's taken away.
We got 2 more weeks, and like I said, as soon as we get done with this podcast, I'm going back to type out this script and that's another thing too, is that you think that what you write is going to be like gold, and then they take it in the room, and everybody is like.
Mark. Yeah, red.
Shut your dumb ass up, right? So
they just write back, calm down.
But I'm glad I know that now, because my first script that I wrote, I was so anxious. I felt like, oh, they're tearing my shit apart. Now I'm like, I know what it is. I'm still gonna get paid. my name is still gonna be on the script.
Absolutely.
Like chill out.
Yeah, no, the key. I think one of the main things to just remember is that, like, just you're balancing your emotions and your ego, like you were talking about before, is just like, this is what it is. Don't get married to anything. You know what it is. You know that they're not going to be like, oh, this is amazing, and take every
this
word.
This is perfect.
Right. No, just know that that's what it is, and it'll be fine. Nothing's ever going to work out 100% the way you first turn it in. Don't get attached to it. And I know we do as artists, but it's like, that's your baby. But also know that, like, there are other people. It's a team thing. Like, other people's input is going to get put in there. It's not your show.
I want to invite you. On Sundays we have this writing group on Clubhouse called Do the Right Thing. Right.
Like, and I get the play on words.
There you go. And we just have like writers, primarily of color, for the most part, talking about their experiences. So I'll send you the invite for that. But I would love for you to jump on stage and talk about things that you've experienced and learned. Like, that would be so great. But I'll do that outside of the podcast. But
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
no, I love talking about that stuff, because stand up is such a small entryway. So I think what comedy really is. Like, I love stand up, but if you would ask me, would I want to live on the road touring?
No.
Doing like, hell no.
Yeah, no.
Hell no.
That's a lifestyle I don't want. Right.
And I thought I wanted that, But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But it's funny because Mal, he loves doing road. Like, he has no desire to do anything else. Like, he goes on the road. He was going on the road with Angela Johnson for a while. Like, that was just her opener. And so that's what his bread and butter was, just touring. And he loved that. He loved going around the country, going to other countries, and like just doing stand up. And for me, like, I don't want to live out of a suitcase. Like, I just don't. I want to go on the road when I want to go on the road, which is maybe 3 times a year. And the rest of the time I want to be in LA working on my stand up here, but also writing on stuff, acting on stuff. And yeah, no, I don't want to live out of that's a hard life. That's a very exhausting and kind of lonely life, to be on the road all the time.
Yeah. I think a lot of the allure of it is the person that you're touring with. So for example, if I got to tour with like Chappelle, Rock, people like, it's like, okay, I want to go hang out with this person just because I want to talk to them. But
absolutely,
living in a hotel, eating chicken tenders at the Improv, getting fat as fuck, like I don't desire that.
And being drunk all the time and dealing with groupies and
yeah.
I know all about dealing with groupies. Anyway, Dave, you've been delightful. Thank you for sharing this time with me.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that you were able to do it. But yeah, let me know about the Clubhouse thing. I would love to.
Yeah, sure. I'll hit you up.
Yeah, tell people one more time where they can find you online.
It's at Dave Helem. If you all can also check out, I have a really fun podcast too called Jays and Grays for people who like Jordans, but also are old as fuck like myself. I'll be not old as fuck, but I'll be 40 in March.
Yes.
Check out Jays and Grays on Instagram as well. But this is my name, Dave Helem, and that's me.
That's fantastic. And is there anywhere, because I know you worked on Sherman Showcase as well, is that still somewhere that people can watch it?
Yeah, that's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu?
That's on Hulu. Yep. I was able to act in a couple episodes of Sherman Showcase. It's always, I mean, it's so much to talk about, but we only have an hour. But
yeah, I know.
I enjoy doing all that stuff too, man. Acting, and there's so many things that under this umbrella of comedy that are just more than just stand up that I didn't realize. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I like this, I like this, I like that. You know, so.
I like everything. I want to do it all. I get it, man. I get it.
I want to eat it all, man.
So check out Sherman Showcase on Hulu and Raven's Home on Disney.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Nice. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you have not subscribed, subscribe. We're on all podcast platforms and on my YouTube. I'm trying to build that up. It's my personal YouTube. So go there and I'll be posting that link and subscribe there as well. Rate and review us on iTunes. And last but not least, if you are enjoying this, tell somebody about it. Pay it forward. I'm Jokes by Candice on social media. And till next time, guys, stay safe. Bye.